All right, everybody, what's going on? Welcome to the first edition of SWAC Talk of 2023. Man, thank you for tuning in. And we're gonna do this new year on the right foot, and we're gonna do our thing all year like we've been doing last year. So 2023 gonna be even better than 22. We'll keep doing it big. So y'all keep on checking out SWAC Talk as we bring y'all all our heat that we do. So with that being said, man, welcome. Thank you for tuning in. And today's show, we're going to talk a little SWAC basketball because the first series of SWAC games starts on Monday, and then we'll be on the road to the big dance. So SWAC basketball gonna be going on. Of course, we're gonna have signing day stuff in February for football. Gonna talk some HBCU Legacy Bowl today. Gonna have all kind of other football content coming at you, as transfer portal and all that kind of stuff, and all the other things that pop through with SWAC football because it never stops. It's a year-round thing now, so always gonna talk that. But basketball is my thing, so I'm always show basketball some love. So it's basketball, it's SWAC basketball season, and I'm hyped up for that. So I'm definitely gonna share my thoughts on that. So man, like I said, you can check out those socials there on the screen down below, so you can check those out. Facebook is SWAC Talk, Instagram SWAC Talk, Twitter SWAC Talk 76. We crossed the 800 threshold on our subscribers, man. So thank you very much to each and every one of y'all, man. When I started this channel, man, I never even thought I'd get to 100 subscribers, but to make it to 800 is a blessing to me. So I thank y'all from the bottom of my heart. And also, thanks from the whole SWAC Smoke team, DJ, Jamie G, me. We all salute y'all and thank y'all for tuning in and subscribing, man. So, but if you haven't done so already, man, why don't you hit that subscription button and like the video while you're here, man. Hit that like button. Keep us on the rise on that YouTube algorithm. Keep us moving up that ladder. So hit that like button, hit that notification bell to be alerted to videos that I drop. And then, feel free to comment on the video, man. Let me know your thoughts on whatever's going on out there. One note is I'm finally going to be taking my vacation. I was supposed to take it a couple weeks ago, didn't get to take it because of the weather. So finally going to take it. So there won't be a SWAC Smoke episode on Thursday. I'm going to try to record a couple of videos to drop while I'm gone. But we won't have SWAC Smoke this week. SWAC Smoke will be back next week. So, you have a 1 week break from SWAC Smoke, but then we're going to come back with that New Year's heat to start the second week of the new year. So y'all make sure y'all check that out when it come around, and I'm gonna drop a couple videos in the meantime while I'm gone. So with that being out the way, man, let's go ahead and start this thing off right. And we're gonna talk a little HBCU Legacy Bowl, man. In case you don't know, the Legacy Bowl will be played on February 26th. That's a Saturday. Excuse me, February 25th. Sorry, February 25th. That's a Saturday at Ullman Stadium, Tulane University in New Orleans. 3:00 kickoff. The game will be broadcast on the NFL Network. So if you can't come to the game, you can catch it 3 p.m. on the NFL Network. Sponsored by Adidas. Adidas provides uniforms. So last year they had some pretty solid stuff. So maybe this year they'll continue. NFL obviously is a sponsor. The New Orleans Saints, State Farms. Patrick Mahomes is a founding partner. Rydell, the helmet company. The Black College Hall of Fame, then the Sugar Bowl, Home Depot, all of those guys are founding members. So we got a great backing, man. Last year's game wasn't that great because it's an all-star game and guys haven't played together. The defense has shined a lot, but it was still a great experience. I thought it was ran really well. They had fan fest and all that kind of stuff before the game. Gramblin's band was there. So, they had that going on. So hopefully, they'll have some more things to pop off this season. But they're continuing to announce the players. So I'm going to run down the SWAC guys that are on the list thus far. Pretty solid list of guys, man. A lot of top guys on this list. The teams are divided into Team Robinson, which is the SWAC and the SEAC, and Team Gaither, which is the MEAC and the CIAA. So, they divide those two conferences, put two conferences together, and they go like that. So For the SWAC side of things, Kamari Everett from Bethune-Cookman tight end is there. BJ Bowler, defensive back from Florida A&M. Quayshawn Bird, deep running back from Bethune-Cookman. Jason Dumas, defensive lineman from Southern. Mark Evans, the second offensive lineman from UAPB. Tony Gray, Jackson State offensive lineman. Let's see. Jordan Lewis, linebacker from Southern. Bubba McDaniel, quarterback from Southern. Nice to see him get that invite, man. Hopefully, he can make something happen with his time now. Skylar Perry, also quarterback from Pine Bluff. Xavier Smith, wide receiver from FAMU. Definitely great to see him get a look. I expect him to do some big things this week as well. And Ronnie Thomas rounds out the list thus far from Valley. So, I mean, there's still time for guys to get invites. There's only a few guys on the list, but should be definitely a good environment, a good atmosphere. Gonna be a week of practices for the guys in front of NFL scouts. So that's definitely something to take into account. And they also have some Legacy Bowl merch, man. So if you want to rock you a Legacy Bowl shirt, if you go to the Legacy Bowl website, they have a shop there, and they got a lot of different things, man. You want to check that kind of stuff out, to show a little love to the Legacy Bowl, man. They got stuff from Adidas, Nike, Adidas, and New Era. So nice name brand stuff if that's your thing. So y'all check that out. There's also a job fair that's gonna be held. So there's a lot of activities surrounding this game, which this is the second year. Hopefully, it would be maybe it'd be nice if it if it rotated from place to place, but if it stays in New Orleans, I think that's a good thing that it continues to grow. So I expect the crowd to be even better this season. So y'all make sure you're in the area, you can get down there on the weekend and check that out. Again, that's February 25th, 3 p.m. Ullman Stadium, Tulane University. So make sure y'all get with that, man. Whether you go or you just follow it, man. Make sure you keep tabs on that game because it's important that something like this continues to go as we become a bigger entity in FCS football. So y'all make sure y'all check that out. Let's jump to the round ball, man. Let's talk a little basketball. And now we beginning SWAC play. The off-seat, the non-conference slate was pretty solid. Especially on the men's side, there was a lot of non-conference victories for the league, which was some of the best wins that the league has had in quite some time. On the women's side, there was some victories picked up, but some still not really doing that well out of conference. But coming into the first two games, the first doubleheader of the season, Alcorn, the women, they lead the SWAC right now at a 4-7 record. Jackson State is 3-7. Prairie View is 3-8. Southern is 3-8. Alabama State is 3-8. Valley 2-8. Pine Bluff 2-8. Alabama A&M 2-8. FAMU 2-9. Bethune-Cookman 1-9. Grambling 1-10, and Texas Southern is 0-11. Again, these records are kind of hard to just make heads or tails of because a lot of teams play a lot of money games. Some teams haven't played any home games or maybe very few. So your odds of picking up wins at this point are kind of tough right now. So there's still an inequity in records. So you obviously know more after the first couple of weekends of SWAC basketball play, who's for real and who's not. So it's good to get off to a good start in the non-conference because that helps you with your resume for the tournament. At least maybe you don't have to play in the first four. Maybe you have a good enough non-conference season and you get hot in conference play, you might can slide to a 15 seed. So we'll see how that goes. But right now, just picking up those wins helps. Just want to take a look at some of the numbers for the women's teams. Right now, Prairie View leads the league in scoring. They're averaging 69.5 points per game. Alcorn is second at 60.9 Pine Bluff is at 60 even. Jackson State is fourth at 59.9. Bethune-Cookman is fifth at 58.6. FAMU is sixth at 57.6. Texas Southern is at 57.5. Alabama State is at 56.7. Valley at 54.5. Grambling 53 even. Southern is 11th at 52.3. And Alabama A&M is last at 50.6 points per game. Alcorn leads the league in scoring defense. They allow 66 points per game. Alabama A&M 67, Grambling 68.5, Jackson State 69, Southern 71.5, Bethune-Cookman 71.7, Pine Bluff 72.4, Prairie View 75.5, Alabama State 77.9, FAMU also 77.9, Valley 84.1, and Texas Southern 87.7 points per game allowed. Field goal percentage, FAMU shoots 38% from the field to lead the league. Alabama State 37, Jackson State 36, 36.2, Prairie View also 36.2, 35.9 for Pine Bluff, that's fifth. Alcorn is sixth at 35.7%. Grambling 35.1, Southern 34.3, Alabama A&M 33% even. Texas Southern 32.6, 32.1 for Valley, and 31.5 for Bethune-Cookman. The opponents, Alcorn holds their opponents at 38.4% shooting. Pine Bluff 40.1, Jackson State 41.2, Alabama A&M 42.1, Prairie View 42.9, Grambling 43 even, FAMU 45.3, Bethune-Cookman 45.5, Alabama State 46 even, Texas Southern 46.1, Jackson Southern 47 even, and Valley 47.5. 3-point shooting, Southern leads the league at 33%, 33.2% shooting. So the Lady Jags are shooting a lot better this year from 3-point range. In the non-conference, shooting was something they struggled with last season. Jackson State 30.4, Grambling 27.8, Prairie View 27.2, FAMU 27.1, Alabama State 27 even, Valley 26.6, Alcorn 26.5. Alabama A&M 26.5, 26.4, Bethune-Cookman 25.7, Texas Southern 25.4, and Pine Bluff shoots 19% from three, so not shooting the ball very well from 3-point range in the non-conference for the Golden Lions. Although Pine Bluff's opponents only shoot 28% from three, so they play pretty good 3-point defense at this point. Alabama A&M's opponents 29.3, Alcorn 29.9. Jackson State 30.5, Prairie View 30.6, Bethune-Cookman 31 even, Grambling 31.8, Texas Southern 31.9, Southern 32.3, FAMU 35.6, Alabama State 37 even, and Valley 38.2% opponent 3-point percentage. Field goals, free throws, Jackson State leads the league shooting 71%, Grambling 68%, FAMU 67.5%. Alabama State 65.2, Texas Southern 64.4, Bethune-Cookman 64.2, Prairie View 63.5, Valley 63.5. Bethune-Cookman 63.5, Prairie View 63.5, Valley 63.4, Pine Bluff 62.5, 60% for Alcorn. And Southern shoots 52% from free throw line. Not good at all. That's a number that's definitely gonna have to improve in conference play. Because the free throws are vitally important, especially on the road in conference play. Alabama A&M's opponents shoot 73% from the free throw line. Bethune-Cookman 72.8, Grambling 72.5, 69.5 for Prairie View, 69.1 for Southern, 68.9 for Texas Southern. Pine Bluff 68.3. Jackson State's opponents 67.8%. Valley 67.2, FAMU 66.9. Alcorn 66.5, and Alabama State 63.4%. Pine Bluff leads the league in rebounding, which is no surprise. That team was a very solid rebounding team last season, so they continuing in that. They averaged 40.9 rebounds per game. Jackson State 36.6. Again, not really a surprise. That's a big physical team. They rebound well. Bethune-Cookman is averaging 36.5. That's a surprise. Last season they weren't that strong on the boards. They're better this season right now. Alabama A&M 36.3. Alcorn 35.7, Texas Southern 35.6, 35 even for Valley, 34.8 for Prairie View, 34.1 for Grambling. Alabama State 33 rebounds per game, 32.8 for FAMU. Southern 27.3. Jackson State's opponents averaged 37.9 rebounds per game. So they do a pretty good job of, staying even with the opponents on rebounds. They don't really let them get too many boards during the game. They are pretty well in that aspect. Grambling 38.2, FAMU 38.7, Alabama A&M 38.9, Alcorn 40.8, Pine Bluff 41.9, Alabama State 42.1. Southern 42.3, Bethune-Cookman 42.5, Prairie View 44.2, Valley 47.8, Texas Southern 48.4. I just take a quick look at the top teams in offensive rebounding. Bethune-Cookman leads the league at 15.4 offensive boards per game, so they're really solid on the offensive glass. Pine Bluff is second at 14.5. Pine Bluff leads the league in defensive rebounds at 64.4. Jackson State 25.1. So both teams are really solid on the defensive glass. Pine Bluff has a -1 rebound margin that leads the league. Jackson State 1.3. That is second. So they have pretty even with their opponents on the boards, which is definitely good when you look at the level of play that they've played thus far this season. Prairie View leads the league in turnover margin. The opponent combined turnover margin is 4.82. So they have a positive turnover margin. They force more turnovers than they commit. Southern is second at 3.91, and Bethune-Cookman is third at 3 per game. Assist turnover ratio, Prairie View leads the league with 0.8. So they are positive in that. They have more assisted turnovers. Alcorn 0.76, Jackson State 0.63, Valley 0.62. Everybody so far has a positive assisted turnover ratio, so that's good. Nobody's really just egregious with turnovers as they were last season. Let's take a quick look at some of the individual names to look out for thus far. Right now, Dylan Horton from FAMU is the leading scorer in the league right now. She's averaging 17.9 points per game. Chanel Wilson from Bethune-Cookman is 17.1. Adriana Avent from Texas Southern, 16.9. Jayla Crawford from Alabama State, 16.4. Diana Rosenthal, 16.3 from Prairie View. Micah Gray from Texas Southern is at 15.8. Yana Emanuel, she had a 40-point game last season, so I expect to see her numbers go up in conference play, but she's at 14.8. Kobe Maples from Grambling is at 12.9. Destiny Brown from Alcorn, 11.9. And Tony Grace from Alabama A&M has 11.9 as well. So those are your top scorers. Your top rebounders right now. Maori Davenport from Pine Bluff, she's averaging 9.1 rebounds per game. Zaria Harlow from Valley is averaging 7.7 rebounds per game. Kayla Clark from Bethune-Cookman, 7.2. Angel Jackson from Jackson State, 6.3. Miracle Saxon from Grambling is at 6.3 as well. Those are your top rebounders. Also, Deja Woodard from Jackson State is right behind them at 6.2 rebounds per game. Your top assist person right now is Ariana Grizzle from FAMU. She has 3.1 assists per game, and Kerrigan Johnson from Valley also has 3.1 assists per game. Jariah Covington from Jackson State, 3 assists per game to lead the league right now. Davenport leads the league with 2.3 blocks from Pine Bluff. Destiny Brown, 1.9. Skylar Baltazar from FAMU, 1.5. Deshante Edwards from Bethune-Cookman leads the league with 3.3 steals per game. So she's definitely getting her hands on the ball multiple times. She leads by almost 1 full steal over the second place person, who is Jaleesa Reese from Pine Bluff at 2.4. Let's take a look at this week's schedule. Like I said, SWAC play starts on Monday. So the Monday games are Southern at Texas Southern. That game time says I think the game is to be announced as far as time goes. Jackson State is at Alcorn. That's a 2 p.m. tip-off. Bethune-Cookman is at FAMU. That's a 4:30 kickoff. That game can be seen on the FAMU Athletics Facebook page, so if you want to check that out. Arkansas Pine Bluff is at Alabama A&M. That's a 5 p.m. tip-off. Grambling is at Prairie View. That's a 5:30 tip-off. And Valley is at Alabama State. That's also a 5:30 tip-off. On Wednesday, we do it again. We flip partners. Everybody switch your partners round and round. Valley is at Alabama A&M. That's a 5 o'clock tip-off. Grambling is at Texas Southern. That's a 5:30 tip-off. Pine Bluff is at Alabama State. That's a 5:30 tip-off. Southern is at Prairie View. That's also a 5:30 tip-off. Jackson State, Alcorn, FAMU, and Bethune-Cookman are off on Wednesday because they're the travel partners. So they play one game against each other, and then they are off the following set of games. So that's the women's side. So let's jump over to the men's side and take a look at some men's basketball right now. Looking at the standings to start this thing off, Grambling Gramblin's had a really good non-conference schedule, man. 2 Power 5 victories, a couple mid-major victories as well. They're 7-5 right now. Prairie View is 4-9. Bethune-Cookman is 4-9. Southern is 4-9. Pine Bluff is 4-9. Texas Southern is 4-9. Alabama A&M is 4-9. Alcorn 3-9. FAMU 2-9. Alabama State 2-11. Jackson State 1-12. Valley 1-13. So as you can see, there's a gang of teams that's 4-9. So everybody's won. Nobody's coming into conference play like 0-12. Everybody's got at least one victory under their belt. 20 wins is always a good mark that I look at in basketball. So that's still on the table for quite a few teams. Even if you have to take into account the tournament to get there, but 20 wins is in play for a lot of teams at this point. So. Somebody should be able to cross that mark, but there are still quite a few teams who at least have that mark in their sights, and to me that's a good thing that you have a lot of teams who are at least coming into conference play with a pretty solid record, not great, not even really good per se, but just not horrible, and that makes the conference play that makes everything ramp up a little bit more in conference play because now that there's multiple teams that can compete, and week in and week out this is going to be a tough thing. Looking at the numbers for the league, Southern leads the league in scoring offense at 73.3 points per game. Alabama A&M is 71.8, Prairie View 70.2, Grambling 67.7, Texas Southern 67.3. Bethune-Cookman 66.4, Jackson State 66.1, Pine Bluff 64.1, Alabama State 63.2, Alcorn 60.1 points per game, FAMU 55.6, Valley 52.8 points per game. Grambling leads the league in scoring defense, and that's the mark. That's what Grambling's been doing really well in this non-conference slate. They play defense really well, 62.6 points per game. Pine Bluff 69.6 points per game allowed. Texas Southern 72.8. Prairie View 74.4. Alcorn 74.9. Southern 75.6. Alabama A&M 76.8. FAMU 77 even. Valley 77.2. Bethune-Cookman 77.4. Alabama State 80.5. And Jackson State allows 82.5 points per game. Grambling leads the league in scoring margin. They outscore their opponents by 5 points per game, and that's evident by their win-loss record. They play really good defense. The offense is not spectacular, but the defense is solid. Southern is second at 2.3 points per game, minus 2.3 points per game difference, which is not that bad when you take into account some of the teams that they played this offseason. Alabama A&M and Prairie View are third and fourth. Prairie View is 42.2. Minus 4.2, Alabama A&M minus 4.5, and Pine Bluff is minus 5.5 to round out the top 5, along with Texas Southern also minus 5.5. Taking a look at the shooting from the field, Alabama A&M leads the league shooting 44%, Southern 43%, Grambling 43.7, Bethune-Cookman 41.8%, Prairie View 41.1%, Jackson State 41.1%, Texas Southern 40.7%, Pine Bluff 38.6%, Valley 36.9%, FAMU 36.6%, Alcorn 36.4%, and Alabama State shoots 35.6% from the field. Grambling again solid defensively, only allowing 37.5% shooting from the field. Texas Southern 43.7%, Pine Bluff 43.9%, Alabama A&M 44.8%, Southern 45.3%. Bethune-Cookman shoots 45. Opponents shoot 45.4% from the field. Valley 46.5%, Alcorn 46.8%, FAMU 46.9%, Prairie View 47% even. Alabama State 47.7% from the field for the opponents, and Jackson State 49.7% from the field. Really solid shooting from the field, from the 3-point line for Alabama A&M. Southern is at 34.8%. Southern's a team that can get hot from three. They're a little streaky, but they do have some guys that can knock those shots down. So that's definitely going to be something for you to look out for during the season. Bethune-Cookman, again, they have shooters, 34.2% from the 3-point line. Grambling 33.9%, Valley 33.7%. Alabama State 33.3%, Jackson State 32% even, Pine Bluff 30.5%, Prairie View shoots 29.5%, FAMU 29.4%, Texas Southern 26.2%, and Alcorn 25.6%. Just a note, Pine Bluff has attempted 315 threes on the season. Southern is at 310. Southern leads the league in 3-pointers made. They made 108 on the season thus far. Alabama A&M is the only other team with triple-digit makes at 104. So Southern takes a lot of threes, but they make the most, but their percentage is not the best. Grambling plays really good 3-point defense. Again, 30.1% from the 3-point line for the opponents. Alcorn 31.4%, Pine Bluff 31.5%, Texas Southern 32.7%, Southern 32.9%. 35.4% for Valley's opponents, 36.5% for FAMU, 36.6% for Bethune-Cookman, 37% even for Alabama A&M. Prairie View's opponents, 37.3%, 38.3% for Jackson State, and Alabama State opponents shoot 38.4% from the 3-point line. Bethune-Cookman leads the league in free throw shooting at 72.4%. Prairie View 72.3%. Alabama State 68.8%, Southern 68.7%. Alabama A&M 68.7%, Pine Bluff 68.4%, FAMU 67.7%, Alcorn 67.2%, Jackson State 65 even. Grambling shoots 63% from the line. That's, if there's gonna be the one thing that they're definitely gonna have to improve on in conference play, is free throw shooting. You're not gonna win a lot of league games shooting 63%. That's probably one of the few blemishes that I could point to on a really solid non-conference slate for Grambling. That 3-point shooting has to improve in conference play, because you have to make your free throws, especially on the road. You typically don't shoot a lot of free throws on the road, so you have to make the ones that you get. And at home, to stave off upsets, you definitely have to make your free throws. Valley is shooting 62.3%. Texas Southern is 61 even. Bethune-Cookman's opponents shoot 78% from the free throw line. Jackson State 75.7%, Prairie View 73.2%, Southern 72.9%, Texas Southern 72.1%, Pine Bluff 70.9%, Alcorn 68.4%, Valley 67.5%, Alabama State 66.8%, Grambling's opponents 66.5%, FAMU 66.3%, and Alabama A&M 66.2%. Rebounding, Texas Southern averages 38.6 rebounds per game, so they're really solid on the boards. Grambling 38.1, Alabama State 37.2, Jackson State 36.2, Pine Bluff 35.7, Alcorn 34.3, Prairie View 33.8, Bethune-Cookman 33.2, FAMU 32 even, 31.8 rebounds per game for the Bulldogs at Alabama A&M. Valley 31.4, Southern 31.3. Jackson State's opponents average 33.2 rebounds per game. Prairie View 33.8, Grambling 35.2, Bethune-Cookman 36.4, Valley 37.1, Pine Bluff 37.8, Texas Southern 37.9, Southern 38 even, Alcorn 38.3, Alabama A&M 39.2, Florida A&M 39.6, Alabama State 40.8 rebounds allowed per game. Looking at Alcorn leads the league in offensive rebounding, averaging 35.5 rebounds per game. Texas Southern is right behind him at 13.3. Like I said, Alcorn 13.5, Alabama State 13.1, Jackson State 12.8, and Grambling is at 11.9. Prairie View rounds out the top half at 11.8. Defensive rebounding, Grambling leads the league at 26.2 rebounds per game. Texas Southern 25.3, Pine Bluff 24.9, Alabama State 24.2, Jackson State 23.4. Southern rounds out the top half of the league at 23 defensive rebounds per game. Jackson State leads the league in rebound margin with a difference of 3. Grambling 2.9, Texas Southern 0.7. Prairie View is even at 0, -2 for Pine Bluff and -3.5 for Alabama State to round out the top half on rebounding margin. So Jackson State out rebounds their opponents pretty much every game. Grambling, same. That's going to be a key factor in league play because a lot of teams shooting, especially from the three-point line last season, was not great. So you're going to have the opportunities to, get rebounds and get out on the break, or at least, push the tempo a little bit and give yourself an opportunity to score some baskets before your opponents even get set up. Southern leads the league in turnover margin at 3.4 turnovers per game. Positive on the positive side. They also forced the most turnovers at 18.9 turnovers per game. Southern was really good at forcing turnovers last season, and they continue that mark. They also they're not the most careful team with the ball. They commit about 15 turnovers a game, but they force a lot of turnovers to even it out. Prairie View is second at 22.3 turnover margin. Alabama A&M 1.85, Grambling 1.08, Alcorn 0.83, Pine Bluff 0.77 to round out the top half of the league in turnover margin. Assist to turnover ratio, Southern has a 1 in that. They have more turnovers and they have more assists than turnovers, so that's definitely one of a positive thing. And it's only about 1 assist. They have 202 in assists and 201 in turnovers, so that margin is as slim as it can get. Alabama A&M is at 0.95, Grambling 0.89, Prairie View 0.87, Bethune-Cookman 0.86, Texas Southern 0.86, and Pine Bluff is also 0.86. Southern leads the league in assists with 202. They also lead in assists per game at 15.5. Alabama A&M is second in both, 14 assists per game, 182 assists on the season. Southern has Valley leads the league with 244 turnovers. Jackson State 232. Again, those are teams who turn the ball over a lot. They are both over 17 turnovers a game. Alabama State has the least turnovers per game at 12.5. So they don't, they take care of the ball fairly well. Prairie View as well, 12.8. Texas Southern is 13.5. And Alcorn at 13.6, along with Bethune-Cookman at 13.6 turnovers per game. Let's see if that. Grambling leads the league with 3.7 blocks per game. Texas Southern 3.5. Alabama A&M 3.5. FAMU 3.2. Bethune-Cookman at 3.08. Pine Bluff at 3.15. All those teams. Prairie View as well at 2.8, and Alabama State at 3. So there's a lot of teams that average quite a bit of blocks. Everybody in the league averages over 2 blocks a game, so that's a really solid number. Like I said, Southern leads the league in assists. They also lead the league in steals at 9.6. Alabama A&M at 8.9. Let's look at some individual guys right now. Sean Doss leads the league in scoring with 17.6 points per game. Garrett Hicks from Alabama A&M. Doss is from Pine Bluff. Hicks from Alabama A&M is at 15.4. Will Douglas from Prairie View is at 15. Terry Collins from Valley is at 14.8. Devon Barnes from Texas Southern is at 14.6. Isaiah Range from Alabama State, 14.3. Marcus Garrett from Bethune-Cookman is at 13.3. Cartier Gordon from Grambling is at 13.2. Zion Harmon from Bethune-Cookman is at 12.5. And Jeremiah Gambrell from Prairie View is at 12 points per game. Your leading rebounder is Carl Nicholas from Texas Southern. He's at 9.1 rebounds per game. Gordon from Grambling is at 7.3. Jalen Bates from FAMU is at 6.3. Ishmael Pleat from Pine Bluff is at 6.3. Antonio Madlock from Alabama State is at 6.2. Jeremiah Kendall from Alcorn is at 5.9. Trace Young from Jackson State is at 5.8. Jordan O'Neal from Alabama State is at 5.8. Dwayne Posey, also from Alabama A&M, is at 5.8. And Akinobi Blase from Alabama A&M is at 5.5 rebounds per game. Right now, Carl Nicholas from Texas Southern shooting 52% from the field to lead the league. Garrett Hicks shoots 46 from 3 to lead the league. Hicks also leads the league in threes made per game at 2.8. Your leading free throw shooter right now is Sean Doss from Pine Bluff at 83%. Leading assist person right now is PJ Bird from Southern with 5.6 assists per game. Kylan Milton from Pine Bluff, 4.8. Ken Evans from Jackson State, 3.8. Messiah Thompson, 3.5 from Alabama A&M. Shandarius Coward from Grambling is 3.4. Matlock from Alabama State, 3.2. Harmon from Bethune-Cookman, 3.1. Alex Anderson from Alabama State, 2.8. Chase Adams from Jackson State, 2.8. Byron Joshua from Alcorn, 2.5. Bryson Etienne from Southern, 2.4. And Marcus Garrett from Bethune-Cookman, 2.4 assists per game. Blocks, your leading block man right now is Gordon from Grambling at 1.4. Blase from Alabama A&M, 1.4. Jordan Smith from Grambling, 1.2. Chase Bars from FAMU, 1.1. John Walker from Texas Southern is 1.1. Jordan O'Neal, Alabama State, 1.0. And Carl Nicholas from Texas Southern is 1.0 as well. Damani McIntyre leads the league from Bethune-Cookman and Steels at 2.6. Kylan Milton from Pine Bluff is also at 2. Coward from Grambling is at 1.8. Wade from Alcorn at 1.7. Etienne from Southern, 1.7 as well, and Steels. Let's see. All right, and so let's take a look at the schedule for this week. It's the same as the women's side. Jackson State is at Alcorn on Monday. Pine Bluff is at Alabama State. That's a 5:30 tip-off. Bethune-Cookman is at FAMU. That's a 6:30 tip-off. Again, those games can be seen on the FAMU Facebook page. Pine Bluff is at Alabama A&M. That's a 7 p.m. tip-off. Southern is at Texas Southern. That's a 7:30 tip. And Grambling is at Prairie View, also a 7:30 tip. On Wednesday, January 4th, Valley is at Alabama A&M. 7 o'clock tip-off. They got this. Yeah, Valley is at Alabama A&M. Pine Bluff is at Alabama State. That's a 7 o'clock tip-off. Grambling is at Texas Southern. 7:30 tip. Southern is at Prairie View. There's also a 7:30 tip. Again, Prairie View. Again, Alcorn, Jackson, FAMU, and Bethune-Cookman are off on Wednesday because they played each other on Monday. So they'll be back in action on next Saturday. So that's going to do it for today's show. Like I said, just want to kind of go through what's upcoming for this week of SWAC basketball. Also wanted to talk a little Legacy Bowl. So again, man, hit that subscription button if you haven't done so already. We are going to start the march to 900. Now we didn't cross the 8s. We want to get to 9 and continue this growth of this journey. Again, no SWAC smoke this week. We'll be back next week with SWAC Smoke. Gonna try to drop a couple of videos this week. In the meantime, so y'all continue to tune in to SWAC Talk. Hit that like button, subscribe, and the whole nine, and we catch y'all on the rebound. Peace.